You didn't decide to stop paying attention. Your attention was interrupted, and that interruption wasn't accidental. Something changed, and it wasn't you. If it feels harder to focus, harder to stay interested, harder to finish anything, that's not a personal failure. Your attention didn't weaken. The environment around you was redesigned. There's a strange collective feeling that has settled over us in the last decade. A quiet hum of distraction that's become the background noise of modern life. It's a shared experience, whispered about in conversations and acknowledged in knowing glances. Almost everyone reports the same thing now. We feel a persistent, low-grade sense of being overwhelmed, of our attention being pulled in 1,000 different directions at once. It's as if the very texture of our daily consciousness has changed, becoming thinner, more fragmented. We're all navigating this new terrain, often feeling like we're the only ones struggling to keep our footing. But the truth is, we are all in this together. Think about the last time you tried to watch something longer than a few minutes. You settle in, press play, and for a moment you're engaged. But then an invisible current starts to pull you away. Your mind begins to wander, cataloguing other tasks, replaying conversations, or simply going blank. You start a video and drift halfway through. Before you know it, you're scrubbing the timeline, looking for the good parts, or worse, abandoning it entirely for something shorter, faster, more immediately gratifying. The patience for a slow build, for a story to unfold at its own pace, feels like a relic of a bygone era. Or consider the simple act of reaching for your phone. It's almost a reflex, an unconscious tick. You pull it out, your thumb hovering over a grid of colourful icons, each promising a different world. There was a reason you picked it up, a specific task you meant to perform. Check the weather, reply to a message, look up a fact. But the moment the screen lights up, that intention evaporates, lost in a flood of notifications and algorithmically curated content. You open an app, forget why you opened it. You might scroll for a moment, then lock the screen. A vague sense of dissatisfaction settling in, the original purpose still unfulfilled. This fragmentation isn't confined to our leisure time. It bleeds into our work, our creative pursuits, our most important projects. You're deep in a document, finally finding your flow when a notification slides into view. A new email, a chat message, a software update. The thread of your thought is instantly severed. You switch tasks without deciding to. What begins as a 2-second glance at a message spirals into a 10-minute detour through your inbox, and by the time you return to your original work, the focus you had is gone, and you have to start the difficult process of rebuilding it all over again. The end result of this constant reactive state is a profound paradox. The day is a flurry of activity. You answer emails, jump between browser tabs, respond to messages, and attend meetings. You feel busy all day, but accomplish less. At the end of 8, 10, or 12 hours, you're exhausted. But when you look back, it's hard to pinpoint any meaningful progress. The important deep work remains untouched, buried under an avalanche of shallow, urgent tasks. Your to-do list is longer than when you started, and a sense of futility begins to creep in. And this isn't the story of a specific demographic. It's not just tech workers in Silicon Valley or teenagers on social media. This pattern shows up across ages, jobs, and lifestyles. It's the student in the lecture hall, the doctor in the clinic, the artist in the studio, the parent at home. The tools and platforms may differ, but the underlying experience of fractured attention is remarkably consistent. It's a universal symptom of our time. When millions of people experience the same cognitive shift at the same time, we have to look beyond individual explanations. This isn't about a personal failing, a lack of willpower, or a sudden, inexplicable decline in our collective ability to concentrate. If it were just you, or just me, we could call it a personal problem. But it's not. It's everyone. And that means it isn't an individual problem. It's a societal one, woven into the fabric of our digital environment. We are living inside a vast, interconnected architecture designed to capture and monetize our focus. The apps, the platforms, the devices, they are all part of an ecosystem that profits from our distraction. This isn't an accident, it's a feature. The constant notifications, the infinite scrolls, the auto-playing videos, they are the deliberate output of a machine engineered for engagement at any cost. It's a system-level change. And to reclaim our focus, we first have to understand the system we're up against. Attention is not a personality trait. It's not discipline. It's not motivation. Attention is a finite biological process shaped by environment. For most of human history, the environment was stable. Stimuli were slow. Information arrived in chunks. Pauses were built into life. Then that environment disappeared. Not gradually, structurally. In the digital age, we've moved beyond a simple information economy into something far more pervasive, the attention market. Today, attention is no longer incidental, a byproduct of consuming media. It's the primary commodity. It's harvested. This isn't a passive process. It's an industrial-scale operation. Every moment of your awareness is a resource to be captured, quantified, and sold to the highest bidder. The platforms we use every day are the factories of this new economy, and our minds are the raw material. The goal is simple: to keep you looking for as long as possible at whatever they choose to show you. To understand this market, we must first accept a fundamental truth. Modern platforms are not neutral tools. They are not simply digital town squares or passive conduits for connection. They are competitive systems, meticulously engineered and relentlessly optimized for a single, overarching metric: maximizing your time on platform. This is their prime directive. Every feature, every notification, every design choice is subordinate to this goal. They are locked in a zero-sum game, not just with each other, but with every other claim on your time, your work, your family, your sleep, your own thoughts. In this battle, they have an arsenal of sophisticated weaponry. The interface between you and this system is deceptively simple. Every scroll, swipe and refresh feels like a personal choice, an act of individual agency. But each of these micro-interactions is a data point, feeding a vast machine that learns you better than you know yourself. These actions are not just observed, they are optimized through a powerful synthesis of disciplines. Behavioral psychology. Decades of research into human motivation, habit formation, and cognitive biases are now codified into the architecture of these platforms. They exploit our innate need for social validation and our craving for novelty, creating loops of behavior that are difficult to break. The pull-to-refresh mechanism, for instance, is a digital slot machine delivering unpredictable rewards that keep us coming back for another spin. Real-time feedback loops. Your every action, a pause, a like, a share, a comment, is instantly fed back into the system. The algorithm doesn't wait for a daily report. It adjusts its strategy in milliseconds. It learns that a certain type of video makes you hesitate, that a particular headline makes you click. This creates a hyper-personalized feedback loop where the system is constantly refining its model of you, getting better and better at predicting what will capture your gaze next, and algorithmic testing at massive scale. Every day, millions of users are unknowingly enrolled in countless experiments. The system tests different headlines, different image crops, different notification timings, different color palettes for a button. It's a global A/B test running 24/7. The versions that extract a few more seconds of your time, a few more clicks, are declared the winners and rolled out to everyone, creating a platform that is perpetually evolving to become more and more irresistible. The consequence of this relentless optimization is profound. What holds your attention isn't chosen by you, it's selected for you. The content that rises to the top of your feed is not necessarily the most accurate, the most insightful, or the most beneficial for your well-being. It is simply the winner of a brutal, automated tournament for your eyeballs, selected based on what keeps you and millions of others engaged longest. Your feed is a reflection not of your stated interests, but of your revealed weaknesses. And importantly, the content doesn't need to be good. It doesn't need to be true or beautiful or constructive. It only needs to be interruptive. In the attention market, nuance, complexity, and quiet reflection are liabilities. They are slow, demanding, and easily scrolled past. What thrives is the sensational, the outrageous, the emotionally charged. The quick-hit meme will always have an algorithmic advantage over the thoughtful essay. The shocking headline will beat the nuanced report. The system doesn't value quality. It values capture. And in the endless war for our attention, the most jarring and disruptive content is its most effective soldier. To understand why our digital lives feel so scattered, we need to grasp a fundamental shift in the design philosophy of the platforms we use every day. It's a subtle change, but it has profound consequences for how we think, feel, and act online. Here's the key shift most people miss. We've been trained to believe that technology's purpose is to help us achieve deep, focused work. That was the original promise. a tool to eliminate distractions and enhance concentration. But the economic incentives of the modern internet have flipped that promise on its head. The goal is not deep focus. The goal is continuous partial attention. Why? Why would a system be engineered to keep you in a state of perpetual low-grade distraction? The answer lies in the business model. It turns out that a distracted user is a far more profitable user because fragmented attention increases session length. When you're never fully satisfied by any single piece of content, you're more likely to keep scrolling, swiping and clicking, searching for that elusive feeling of completion. The journey is deliberately designed to have no destination. Increases ad exposure. A longer, more fragmented session creates more opportunities to serve you advertisements. Each swipe, each new video, each click is another slot to be filled by a sponsor. Your attention isn't just being held, it's being monetized second by second. Reduces conscious decision-making. Deep thought requires cognitive resources. When those resources are depleted by constant task switching, we default to simpler, more automatic behaviors. We become more susceptible to suggestion, less likely to question the path we're on. When you're slightly distracted, you're easier to steer. You're less likely to pause and ask, do I really want to watch this? Or is this how I want to spend my time? Instead, you follow the path of least resistance, a path paved by the algorithm. So the system rewards content that feeds this cycle. It creates a feedback loop where creators are incentivized to produce the very things that keep us fragmented. The algorithm doesn't value what's good for you. It values what keeps you hooked. It rewards short bursts over sustained thought, novelty over depth, emotion over understanding. This is why nothing seems to hold you anymore. That feeling of never being truly satisfied, of always looking for the next thing, isn't a personal failure. It's the intended user experience. The system is working exactly as designed. It's not meant to. People often say, distraction has always existed. That's true, but misleading. What's new is density and speed. Never before have multiple feeds competed simultaneously. Notifications interrupted cognition in real time. Algorithms adjusted instantly to your behavior. Your brain evolved for scarcity of information. You now live in abundance, without buffers. The cost of that mismatch is cognitive fatigue. When attention fragments, downstream effects appear. Learning slows, memory weakens, patience collapses, meaning feels harder to access. People interpret this as burnout or lack of drive. But the deeper issue is constant context switching. Your mind never fully arrives anywhere, and a mind that never arrives struggles to care. This isn't about quitting technology. It's about understanding the terrain. Once you see attention as something being acted upon, not something you're failing to control, clarity returns. And clarity is leverage. Because systems only feel invisible until you recognize their shape. If it feels like nothing holds your attention anymore, now you know why. Not knowing isn't neutral. Not knowing is expensive.